ignore all of the negative circumstances of dating in order to manifest that perfect dream relationship. There are a couple of ways of viewing relationships in our world. There is the one way that we see no negativity. We're always looking for the positive in our relationships, and we're always manifesting what's good. And there are benefits to this viewpoint. When we're using this viewpoint, we are taking the best that's available when we're dating. We're taking the best out of any interaction that we're having with a given person. The only problem with this mindset of seeing the best in everyone and refusing to see the negative, yes, you will magnetize more goodness into your life. However, it can also be a bit of a naive view set. And unfortunately, it can attract certain people who are manipulators at times. So they can come in, and because they know you're going to see the best in them, they're going to try and pull whatever bad behavior they can get away with. And so what you need to do, in my opinion, is have a balance. Of course, we want to forgive everyone in spirit. Of course, we want to see the best in everyone. But we need to have a little bit of discernment and some criteria in order to evaluate whether or not this person is really a good fit for our inner circle. We don't want to be so desperate to take applications for people to be close to us that we invite someone in who is potentially toxic. We are better off alone than around toxic people. So it's possible to become so serious in looking for relationships that are right for us that we see the world through suspicious eyes. We see everybody as a manipulator and that the world is going to heck. And we better watch our back because we're going to be attacked at any moment. And that's going a little too far. We want to be aware of the games people play so that we can filter them out, but we don't want to become so serious, so stoic, and so grouchy, for Pete's sake, that we can't have any fun in the process of getting to know people. In fact, dating is supposed to be fun. We're not supposed to always have this serious face on, but we do need our game face, our serious face, and our ability to set boundaries when people will inevitably try to pull their manipulations. You ever heard of resting bleep face, where you're just looking very grouchy all of the time? Well, there's a balance between smiling, which people consider to be the advice to look more attractive, and having a resting bleep face. And that balance requires you to both have faith that there are good people out there, and that when they do nice things, you can smile and be receptive back to them. And yet, when they're pulling things that aren't so great, you can have this other game face on that shows that you're not bothered when they flirt with the waitress or they show a text to you that looks a little bit sus. 5 Sensories will play these games intentionally because they're trying to figure out if you're the type of 6th sensory who will overreact, who will get upset when they show you something even a little bit upsetting. Anything dastardly and evil they actually wanted to do, they would hide from you. But if they're showing bad behavior in front of you, that's because they're seeing if you're gonna react and get upset like a 5-year-old. And if you lose emotional control in that moment, even though it's their fault, it actually becomes your fault. It's like if somebody presents you with a piece that you know what, you don't touch it because then it becomes yours. You leave the gift with them. And that's a parable from Buddhism, actually, where the Buddha was traveling and this man just kept following him and saying horrible things to him like he was not a good teacher. And then the Buddha said, if you give me a gift and I don't accept it, then who does the gift belong to? So that's what we want to do with 6 sensories. When 5 sensories are giving us a nasty little gift of theirs, we leave it with them and we present with a neutral, resting, you-know-what face because that's what they deserve. And then you can move past it and potentially have a healthy relationship. This is not serious stuff, but if you don't handle it seriously and you don't do things the correct way, then it can turn into something serious. If you took the advice of positivity and smiling in the wrong way, which some 6 sensories may do, if you smile at their bad behavior, they can actually interpret that as that they can walk all over you. And then they'll enjoy their fun with you for a little while and tease you, and then they'll get rid of you later. So you don't want to fall into that trap. You want to be aware of what they're doing. We need a little dose of practical discernment to make sure that you're not getting caught in these manipulations. And then have the positive attitude to let it go once they're finished. I just want to add a little caveat to the 5 sensory. They can be a man or a woman. Either gender are capable of manipulations. And when you're one gender and you happen to be straight and you just get angry and bitter at the opposite gender, it does you no good. It just makes you look like you're sexist, like you're a man hater or you're a misogynist on the other end. And you don't want to appear that way. You want to be open to people. You want to view the opposite sex, if you're straight, in a positive light. Or if you're not straight, you're just hating on your own gender and your own community, which makes no sense. But it actually doesn't make sense for us straight people to hate the opposite gender either. If you're dating, you're more than likely to experience games nowadays, and you can't just complain, I don't want any games. That's not realistic. Human beings are traumatized and they have many defenses, and we're only becoming more defensive as relationships break down and divorces become more common. We have to grow up as human beings and become adults and become responsible for setting boundaries with people who are displaying less than ideal behavior. And we have to have an attitude where a lot of minor bad behavior just needs a minor boundary, and it's not something to get that worked up and excited about. We just need to handle it appropriately, and then maybe we can have a healthy relationship with that person, or maybe we can't. Maybe in setting the boundary, the relationship does end there. But if that's true, then they were risking breaking the relationship in the first place, and they're probably not the right fit for us as a long-term partner. If we understand that things are not always going to be rosy in our personal lives, and there are going to be people who disappoint us and exit from our personal sphere, we're going to be way less traumatized and disappointed when it inevitably occurs, which it will when you're dating and trying to find the right person. And even if you find the right person, that still can end. And then you have more life lessons to learn. And it's all a big roller coaster of life that we can enjoy. We just have to embrace and hug the hell out of it to get the most out of it.